Welcome back, friends. I'm Nanny from Nanny and the Moose, and Moose will be here in a minute. Today we're going to take a segment from our last video, and we're calling this the 9 areas of quality of living for aging seniors. We're going to break that down. These headings are very general, but we're going to break that down. And there was a study done that was really interesting, taking into account aging seniors from the ages of 71 to 91, with the majority of women, about 60% women. And this survey was done on the quotes of each participant in the survey and how they related to these general 9 points or areas of quality of living. And you'll be surprised. And I want you to think about yourself in relationship to all this as we discuss it. And I think you'll see that even though there was a huge diversity of socioeconomic and all sorts of people involved in this survey, mostly everything was the same in their general overview of this. So as soon as Moosey gets here, we'll get going and we'll break it all down. And I think you're going to really get something out of this. Oh, hello there. You look very smart in your cowboy hat today.
That horse you promised to bring me?
Yeah.
Did you bring it?
Sitting out and back.
Got my hat on.
Moosey's dream, always wanted a horse. We did have a horse at one time too, and it was big enough for him.
And I fell off it.
Well, that's to be expected for anyone, right? Okay, Moosey and I have already discussed a lot of this together, and as usual, we will put our own personal anecdotes into this. And as you know, Moose will have quite a bit to say in the areas of health, because he suffered a lot in the past 3 or 4 years, and we'll discuss that. We'll also discuss ways that we can improve our quality of life if you're not satisfied with it. So, shall we start with listing the 9 areas or fields?
I think that health is at the top of everyone's field, isn't it?
I would think so. Yeah.
I know that you can kill a conversation by oh, I got a pain here, I got a sore here, you know. So you have to be more germane when you talk about health.
Well, in the survey, it was unanimously agreed upon that health was the number 1 area that everybody felt was the core of quality of life. If you have chronic pain, no matter how much money you have, or no matter what the square footage of a home you have and the beauty surrounding it, you just aren't going to enjoy yourself and be happy. So being happy and being healthy, we know that all of us in our 70s and 80s and 90s, we're not in the best of health. We all have something going, right?
I feel good.
Sure.
But you make me happy.
Well, I have to start that off right from the start. We are very blessed to have each other, and that's our number 1 source of joy. No matter how much we miss the children, no matter the cruises and the trips and all that. Been there, done that, right? So we're not worrying about that. We don't need any more of that. It will be nice to be able to take a drive somewhere or do something else.
Well, those are things we can do, so we can go out and drive in the car. Farther than the gas station.
That's about it. Well, sometimes we do a drive-by. But Moose and I were discussing this morning, one of the nice things to be able to do is to look forward to something.
Yep.
right?
Yep. It was always that way.
And as we look back over our life, there was always something, whether it was big or little, whether it was something with the family or a little cozy getaway for us, we were always looking forward to something. And I think you have to plan that, whether it's a me day that you want to take in 4 or 5 days, or you have a great book coming in the mail that you want to read. Something. Figure out something or some way
Yeah.
that you can have something to look forward to. So let's read these. I have to put my glasses on. It's a good thing I'm holding something. As Moose points out all the time, and I'm sure you've noticed it, I'm always doing this or that, or this or that. I'm very handsy. So I'm going to try very carefully right now.
Put your
hold
glasses
something.
on.
I'm going to put my glasses on, and I'm holding our notes here. All right? So, as we said, health is definitely the number one field here of quality of life. Feeling better and not limited by your physical condition. Well, we are limited somewhat, all of us. Moose is very limited by his condition. But he's still happy, right?
Sure.
Oops, got to put that finger down, right? Can't point anymore. Okay, number 2.
Autonomy.
No,
What the?
autonomy. Autonomy relating to yourself.
Is that like anatomy?
No, not quite.
Okay.
Being able to manage on your own. Oops, put that finger down. Manage on your own and retain your dignity and not thinking that you're going to be a burden to someone else.
Right.
That's autonomy. And that's another important one. In our last video, we talked about worry and anxiety, and that was one of the big worries of people, that you're going to be a burden someday. Well, we might, right? What do you think about that?
Could happen.
It could.
But I don't worry about it
You
because I can't control it.
You can't control it. And that's what we said was the difference between worry and anxiety, too. Let's all hope that we can find ways to stay in our homes and take care of ourselves or take care of each other. And if the inevitable happens, it happens, and it's probably for the best that someone else take care of you. And if you have family, that's going to be okay. And even if not, there are wonderful places to go. And then you bring up the financials of having long-term care insurance. We don't. And a lot of people don't. We should have thought of it years and years ago, but at the time you're educating your children and you're spending money on family and various other things, and you just don't even think of old age at that point. There's a lot of looking back and saying, oh, should we have done this? Should we have done that? Even in comparison, as we're talking about quality of life, it's not the same way we felt 20 or 30 years ago, right?
No, never crossed your mind.
Quality of life 20 or 30 years ago, you were thinking about other things. Quality of life meant, in your case, being successful in your business,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I remember that.
Do you
Seems like only yesterday.
Yeah, gosh, such a long time ago. In my case, it was all about the children, getting them well educated, staying well enough. Okay, he's keeping me on point here. Number 3, your role and your activity. And this means to manage yourself and manage your own home, spending time on activities that bring you joy. And what's that other word? I can't read that.
Involvement.
And involvement. And that's important. We all want to feel relevant, and we all want to be involved with hobbies, things to do, and we want to be involved with other people, which brings us to COVID-19 and our present day conditions.
Just let me skip back for a second, because I would like to comment that you know, your role and your activity is making these YouTube videos and knowing from the comments that you're bringing joy to somebody else, and that brings joy to you. So I mean, it's a great two-way street. It's a great time to be spending your time bringing joy and involvement to other people. And what do I get out of it? I just enjoy seeing you happy.
Wow, how could we lose with that, right? That's an all-around joy, all the way around here. Okay, you read the next one. I took my glasses off here.
Relationship, close, read back.
Oh boy, I wrote this. You can't read it.
Makes you feel supported. And
I'll read it.
Feel as if you
Come on, you can't read my
mean something for others. Well, yeah, I mean, it's what I was just talking about. You feel like you're doing something for others. That's your role.
We talked about that in our other video. It's a proven fact that when you're thinking about other people and you're doing things for other people, you're much happier. People who look outside of themselves are much happier and healthier, by the way. So that one was relationships. I made a lot of abbreviations on here, which Moose probably had some problems with. Close relationships, which make you feel supported, and it makes you feel as if you mean something to other people, and you're doing something for other people. So relationships there. Now that can be interpersonal, it can be between two people, or it can mean family relationships, friend relationships. So that's another general area here. Number 5 is attitude and adaptation. And that's a biggie right now with COVID. To be able to adapt to everything that's happening right now.
COVID, you know, you just simply have to adapt. If you don't adapt, you'll go to the funny farm. It's something we all have to do. I think we're doing it well. I hope a lot of people are doing it well.
I think so.
But there's nothing you can do about it until the thing passes.
Well, you know, the one thing that I have been doing to adapt, and it involves our large family, is having one family at a time here with us, or we go to their house. Now, on Halloween, that was our 4th time. I think you've seen 3 times before that. We went over to our daughter Dub's, and we had a little Halloween lunch. In fact, I'll put a picture on there. Moosey, all 4 of us were in costume. Let's flash, Moose. 1, 2, 3. Rawr! We're having a lovely Halloween luncheon with Dub and Barry. We wore our masks. We sat at she has a big table outside. We sat at the table. We had a lunch. And that's the way I adapt concerning my feelings about missing the family and wanting to see them during COVID. Number 6 is your emotional comfort. And that's feeling at peace within yourself. And that's very general, right? Because that involves being happy in your home, being happy with your relationships. All of these areas intertwine with each other. And they found that in that survey, that's what happened. One sort of bled into another area here. And generally speaking, that's what this attitude and adaptation is, and emotional comfort. And you have anything to say about emotional comfort?
Well, I mean, there you go to the next one, which is spirituality, because those are kind of linked. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have some spirituality, it becomes emotional comfort to you. You know?
That's true. And it doesn't have to be spirituality based on faith. If you don't have a certain religious attitude or spirituality, there's meditation. And that can be calming and also a big benefit. What was the other word here? Oh, inner reflection. You can sit and there's lots of people who do that. You can do that through exercise and yoga. Aren't there poses and things where meditation comes in?
Is that where you contemplate your belly button?
I don't contemplate my belly button. Maybe sometimes I contemplate your belly button, but not mine. Anyway, where are we here?
Yeah. These things, these aren't.
Stop.
These aren't in the script.
No.
They just flop out of our mouth.
All right, number 8 on quality of life, the fields of quality of life. This one is concerning home and neighborhood. And basically the responses in the survey were that most people, almost everyone, wanted to be able to stay in their home, to feel comfortable within that home and their neighborhood that they've lived in for so long, because they have accessibility to shops and entertainment. They know everything about it. And the other thing is safety. They want to make sure it's a safe place to live. So that's something that is interesting, and probably no matter what your socioeconomic or financial situation is, everybody wants that. And the last one, which is very understandable and very general, is financial security. And that can mean different things to different people.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of people are living on a fixed income, and that's understanding. Social Security or whatever your pension sends you. That's normal.
I think as long as you're able to meet your needs, and hopefully if you are existing on Social Security and maybe another little pension besides that, your needs will not be too big. Hopefully you've sold a home, paid off all bills, and you don't have any debt. Medicare takes care of everything, or Medicaid, and hopefully you have secondary insurance or that Medigap, which will take care of it. Medicare has been
good for us.
Godsend for us.
Yeah. But sorry.
I was just going to talk about Moosey's.
No.
Well, it's part of all this.
No.
His health over the last several years has been a big part of this, and Medicare has been great. Plus, Moosey is also a vet, and we do have VA. So we've been so fortunate along those lines.
I was going to say, these things intertwine. It just occurs to me that financial security and adaptation are intertwined, because if you have a financial fixed finance and it's not much, then you have to adapt to PBJ sandwiches.
That's true. I like PBJ.
But you've got the money to buy bologna.
Oh, you do. I'll step up. That's good.
There was one other thing I wanted to talk about: intertwining.
Twining. I say intertwining.
Intertwining or
That's
twining?
a good word too.
Thank you. We talked about looking forward to things and how that used to make us happy, and how we're missing relationships with the kids because of COVID. But looking forward, we've got something to look forward to. June 2022.
That's right.
Now that gets the whole family together, and we can look forward to the planning, because guess what?
Well, let me tell you how it all happened. One of our grandsons, one of Margie's sons, who is now about 26, 27, just announced last week that they are having their first baby. Now, this will be our 11th great-grandchild on the way. And everybody's so excited. We always need a new baby every year. And he put out to all the family, and oh gosh, there must be 50 of us or more, counting all the spouses and the SOs. There's a couple of SOs and all the great-grandchildren and everybody. He put out a text to the whole family that it was about time that the family went back to Ireland. And I think I've mentioned that back in 2005 and then again in 2007, we did a family trip, the whole family, grandkids, everybody. And everybody saved their money for a year. We planned it. And we flew over to Ireland, rented a big former castle that was built in the 1600s. Really, it didn't work out to be really expensive because everybody chipped in, and also the airfare was like $400 round trip to Ireland. So that was a big difference. But this time, I think we have 18 months, everybody to pay for it. And everybody was so cute to read all the responses, ding, ding, that kept coming in. I'm in, this family's in and that family's in. And Colin remarked that the last time we were there, he said we were all kids. And Colin was, 9 something, this would have been how many, 15 years ago? And he said, and now we're bringing our own kids. And I thought that was just really observant. Everybody's thinking about this. So now all these young kids that were in their teeny boppers and preteens, and some were babies, Colleen's children, who are now 13, 16, and 18,
they were toddlers.
They were toddlers, but Shannon was in Colleen's belly. In fact, they announced their pregnancy while we were in Ireland that year. So, as she said, my goodness, now they'll be in the pubs with us growing up. So we have that to look forward to. Now,
what?
Moosey and I will be, 85 or somewhere thereabouts.
Like
and we're being very optimistic, which you have to be.
Sure.
We can look forward to this. And if something happens, que sera. You going to sing that song again?
Not again.
Everybody loved it. He could.
Since we're going to Ireland, I'll sing Danny Boy.
Oh, okay.
When we get there.
When we get there. You have that to look forward to. This was based, this survey, and I think I mentioned this, on the quotes of the people, mostly the women, in this survey. And I'm going to read some of the quotes to you right now, okay? I have to look and see if my little chinny chin. The other day we were driving over to Dub's to have our lovely lunch. Speaking of, what would this come under in our quality of life? Taking care of yourself and comfort and
emotional comfort
and making sure that you're happy with yourself. And I think some of you ladies will relate to this. I was driving and I happened to pull the visor down, and in the sunlight, these little suckers hanging on my chin, about 6 of them, little short, little white hairs, You know, they are there one day, you tweeze them, and they're gone. And I was looking at my cat yesterday morning as she looked at me, and I said, I wondered if she looked at my chin. Of course, they're gone now. I took care of them. But that's just one of the little things.
Oh, wait.
Did I miss one?
Just kidding.
He's kidding. But anyway, that's just an aside. I've got to put my hands down again. Let me read some of these quotes that some of these people said. And I think this is kind of interesting, if I can find them on here. Someone said, and I think this was a man, what mostly controls our quality of life is your personal health. It determines where you go, what you do, and what you can't do. And that's just what we said, right, Moose?
Yeah.
Although
I don't think that guy's too brilliant. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Although here Moose is that it doesn't have his balance and he uses a rollator to get around. And I would say that's a chronic condition and kind of a deterrent. But you know what?
What?
You still go places. We still get you there, huh?
Yes.
You help get yourself there.
Because I'm dependent upon you. I don't have the autonomy I'd like to have, but I have a relationship and I meditate on my emotional comfort.
He's using the areas of quality of life
I can use
here.
them all right there.
Yeah, he's doing pretty
In one
well
thing,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, you're going from one to the other here. Okay, one of the other one was being able to look after yourself is most important. That's where my chinny chin hairs came out. You didn't have to pluck them. You know, speaking of that, when you were in the skilled nursing place, one day we were sitting outside on a terrace, and a couple other couples would come with their visitors, and there was a woman in there, an elderly woman, who was very depressed, and I feel maybe she had a little cognitive impairment as well. But her husband was there every day, and he would stay all through her lunch, and he'd stay for hours. And one day they were sitting out on the terrace where we were, and he was with a tweezer plucking the hairs from her chin. I know, it was so sweet. And she was not in a good mood. She was batting him away and everything. But how sweet, and how maybe you think you could never do something like that, that maybe that husband felt that he could never do something like that, and there he was lovingly plucking the hairs out of his wife's
The thing
chin.
I remember about that old lady is that she used to giggle and smile and be very happy whenever the grandchildren came to visit me, and she'd be looking at them and smiling. And
yeah.
made her a happy day.
All right, let me get on to something a little happier.
Okay.
Big thing, please do not let me be a burden upon others. So if we aren't a burden on others, we're doing pretty well with the quality of life here. So dignity, personal care, and appearance. Moo says, whatever you do, get out of your pajamas every day.
Oh, yeah.
One lady said, I don't bother putting pantyhose on anymore because it's too much trouble and I go bare-legged.
I don't either.
He doesn't either. And I say, sometimes I don't wear a bra because it's too hard to put your arms around the back and hook it. What do you say about that? He's not saying anything about that.
You know, there's so many people that they have to get out of their routine. They get up, they shuffle into the kitchen. I'm talking about my grandmother. Make a cup of tea and never get out of their bathrobe or their PJs. That's not good for your mental state. I think forget the pantyhose, but get up and put on some other clothes than your bed clothes. Do that every day. I think you'll feel better.
Yeah, and that is a biggie. That does come under several of these intertwined fields here. One man said 20 or 30 years ago, I might have described my quality of life as very different. Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would matter to you 20 or 30 years ago? I think we touched on that a little bit.
Give me a hint.
Work.
Oh yeah, work. But I left work 20 years ago. I can hardly remember it. It was so.
Let's go
But
back.
don't forget, I went into poker tournaments
Oh,
and
that's
won
right.
money and won
But
trophies.
But that wasn't work.
That was
You know, in my
that's
case,
what I liked.
my quality of life was making sure that we saw family all the time. We were and still are a very close family.
Right.
And we were still educating children. That was really important to us, getting good educations. And it paid off with all the children. What else mattered most to me? I used to love to get out for a me day. Now, a me day to me didn't mean going to the spa. I've always cut my own hair. I've always done my own nails. The only thing I could use nowadays is a podiatrist, but being a diabetic, I don't know whether I want to get out and get my toes done. I can still do all that. And I can still touch my toes. Do exercise. Not Moosey, though. Right? Maybe that's something I should work on with him, getting him more limber.
I'm not even jealous.
I know. He doesn't even want to try it. It would be very painful for him, I think. I think maybe we're
27.
winding down here.
Yeah.
Maintain your quality of life, aligning it with today's living. Let's work on now, which is the pandemic and COVID. Let's think about what quality of life means to us. And I hope you all do this. And in your comments, please, if you have something to say that you'd like to, please feel free to do it. Other people do read the comments. I often notice that other people comment on what certain people have to say. And I think that's great because we're kind of all a family together. We're getting to be that way. We have some wonderful subscribers, and those of you who have not subscribed, come on, join us and come along on this journey with us. But do let us know if you have some different way of feeling or something affects you another way. We've joked around a lot. I hope we stayed specific enough.
I don't want to joke anymore. I want to say something very serious. Is it your intention on this video to show the cat's whiskers too?
What a good girl. Yes. Oh, yes, you're a sweetheart. Yes, you are, and you have big whiskers just like Nanny. Huh? Yes. Yes. I did take a little picture so the cat and I can compare our whiskers. It's funny you said that because yesterday the cat was sitting right here and I thought of that as I thought of my own whiskers. And that's it. Speaking of whiskers, he has to shave. He didn't shave today. And that's part of one of these things too. He's out of his pajamas, but he's got to shave.
Okay, let's go.
So, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. And until our next video, may God bless us all in this wonderful country of ours. Love you.